here. And just before the ambulance came, there was my sister. The closest sister to me as far as age. She was there standing, looking in the car, looking at me, and tears started rolling down her eyes, started rolling down her face. And as she stared, looking at me with tears, I said to her, "It's okay, it's all gonna be all right. And it's gonna be all right, and I'll be able to go to Sunday school." I had my Sunday school book in my hand. I don't remember how I got it in my hand. I must have asked Mr. Robertson for my Sunday school book and my Bible. And I had both of those in my hand, or underneath my laying on my chest. I looked down on my legs just once, and then I looked up because one of my legs, were bigger than both my thighs from the swelling and the internal bleeding. No one knew how bad off I was, or how bad off I had been, or what happened at that time. They finally got me into an ambulance who drove me to Bay Memorial Hospital, which is now Bay Medical Center. And I remember doctors standing over me. And I remember just talking, asked, where was my mom? By that time, my aunt that was taking care of us came up to the hospital and said that she had called my mom and my family, who were at that time doing a musical program in Talladega, Alabama, my hometown. So my aunt had called my mom, and they were on their way. But as I lay there, I heard the doctor say, well, we need permission to do what we need to do to make her better. And my aunt and my sister both gave that permission, pending my mom's presence. I remember an instrument, a medical instrument that looked like an electric screwdriver. I remember it was then something like a crowbar that the doctors use to put holes in my legs. I didn't know I had 7 pints of blood, poisonous internally, that they had to drain and replace with the blood transfusion. I remember this crank, like a crank or a crowbar, that the doctors were using to make these holes in my legs so they could put these long pencils through my legs to properly mend together my bones. Or my left leg was broken in 3 places. It's my ankle, below my knee, and above my knee. My right leg was broken in 2 places, and that was above and below my knee. I had a fractured pelvis, and I was seriously bad off. The Panama City News Herald did an article on what had occurred, that I had been hit by a hit and run driver. And I remember police standing over me and asking me, did I remember anything? And I told them I saw the license plate, or part of the license plate. And I told them it was a light blue car. I didn't know that I was able to do that because I was in a state of shock. And I don't remember feeling any pain during that time. I just talked while they did what they needed to do. I don't remember being given any anesthetics, any ethyl or anything else for them to put me to sleep. I wasn't asleep when they were doing the work on my body. But I remember my mom got there and she looked at me, and again with tears in her eyes, and I told her the same thing, don't worry about me, I'm going to be all right. God took away the pain. He didn't let me feel the pain that I had in my body. For some reason, God spared me the pain and allowed me to maintain my intelligence in spite of all the emotions raging around me during that time, Easter Sunday morning. And at that time, I thought for a long time, that the darkness, the tall fence, the person with the bright, beautiful eyes beaming down on me, the partially open gate door, I thought that was all happening in the real world, in the physical world. But all of that was in the spiritual world. And I thank God that He brought me through. And the message that I received from the tall person with the beaming bright eyes and the unending smile, I thought for years, until I was a grown person or an adult, that all of this was true. I didn't know that what I was having was a near-death experience, and the darkness was death. But I made it through. Praise God. And now, 48 years later, I have 3 independently beautiful, gifted, talented children. 2 girls and, 2 young ladies and 1 young man. I have 8 beautiful grandchildren, whereas the doctors thought that I would never have any children because of the fractured pelvis. But I had 3 beautiful children, and before each one of my children were born, God gave me a vision of each one of them. And instead of calling them by their earth name, I'll call them by their spiritual name: knowledge, faith, and wisdom. Because each one, before the birth of each one, I had the vision, and God gave me this revelation of who they would be. I have 3 beautiful, gifted children, 8 beautiful, gifted grandchildren, 5 girls, and 3 boys. Thank God for my life. This Easter Sunday morning, 2012, 48 years from my rebirth. Praise God. Thank you for listening.